six-boat lineup to compete in Indianapolis. And that, I think, is some mark of the steady move by women's single scullers, at least, into the double, which will be an Olympic event, whereas the single will not. And I think we're going to see that in marked contrast to a few minutes' time when we're going to be reviewing the lineup for the men's singles in lightweight division. So not a lot of previous international form to go on. Now, having said that, of course, the Dutch sculler here in lane 5, Annette Bogstra, gold medalist at Lucerne in this event, and Pia Vogel could only manage 8th place in the small final, along with Sue Appelboom, who was 11th, and Anna Helleberg from Denmark that we're looking at right now, and she was 9th placed at Lucerne.
All scullers away very cleanly, happy to say. Looking for 3 scullers to go through here. It's the grand final. They're through that 100-meter mark. The race is well on its way. Everyone now starting to settle down into the body of the race, trying to find a rhythm and a pattern. So the pattern of the race starting to develop. It goes on.
Pia Vogel with the early form, maintaining that lead. Taking with her the newcomer, Rachel Starr from Canada, on the left of your picture.
As we were saying beforehand, very little to choose in terms of height and size between these women. And as a result of that, we've got a blanket field. So as the scullers come through, this first 500 meters, get an idea. I think we have the Dutch sculler just leading from the Danish.
Dutch ahead of Denmark there, isn't it?
Yep. Not much in it, though.
There can't be much more than about a length and a half separating all 6 scullers, so a very even field.
Certainly in this class of event, trying to make a significant move is very expensive, and so people will do that at their peril. And so what they're hoping to do is find a really good, strong, long, steady rhythm that'll carry them through the body of the race, and hope that that'll leave them in a position where, if necessary, if required, they can really kick on over the last 20 or so strokes, hopefully get them that vital qualifying position for the final. At the moment, those first 3 places are being held: Holland, Denmark, Switzerland.
The gold medalist from Lucerne, Bogstra, there, looking relatively relaxed from where we're watching. But as you rightly point out, in the boat it can be a completely different matter. So the field closing up again. Just over a length separating the 6 scullers. 3 to go through. And the Dane and the Swiss now under pressure from the Canadian girl, Rachel Starr, on the far side. Appelboom of Britain in the centre of the course, and the Chinese girl over on the far side, still in contention. They could still come back.
If you can establish a strong rhythm that'll carry you through, you always have that 15 or 20 strokes in which you can do a lot of damage. The key to this, the key to these events, is the efficiency and the rhythm that you can bring to it.
Nice and relaxed from the Dutch girl at the moment. Noticeably more effort going into the stroke from Vogel from Switzerland. Only 250 meters to go, and the Canadian girl has got to make the big one now. She's only half a length down. She could still do it if she's got just that little something in reserve.
Certainly the Swiss girl is hanging off, fighting off the Canadian. The Sue Appelboom coming through the Canadian now. It's a fine performance from Sue.
I think Sue could just hold on to third place. She's coming through strongly.
It's going to be very, very close between
Now that
her.
is a big burn. But the Dane has seen her coming. Anna Helleberg trying to fight her off. This is a terrific fight here for second and third slots.
Very difficult to tell.
Holland at first.
Appelboom, and then the Swiss, and then the Danish. But probably no more than a foot in it between those three scullers. Splendid performance there. Really first-class attacking from the British girl over that last 200 metres. And I think you saw there a perfect example of hopefully what I was trying to explain earlier, which is that if you can get a base pace, you can always put 15 or 20 strokes, which will give you just that little edge. And I think that's exactly what you saw from Sue right there.
We've
Terrific
got the photo. There goes Sue Appelboom, followed by Pia Vogel and Anna Helleberg from Denmark. Finally let it slip just on the line there.
Well, there's racing of the highest quality and as close as you'd want it to be. I should think at the moment Sue Appelboom's not even sure she's gone through. Look at that. 3/10 of a second. Wonderful performance. Confirmation there. Netherlands win, Denmark second, Great Britain third, Switzerland fourth, Canada and China.
Not well, it's back to the start to determine which three scullers will join those finalist qualifiers. And the six-boat lineup for this race. Katrin Namyslo of Germany in lane 1. Lisa Bertini, fourth placed in the world for 94. She's in lane 2. Then we've got the two newcomers, Gabrijela Markus of Yugoslavia, lane 3, and Rebecca Joyce, the Australian, in lane 4. Katrin Mueller of France, silver medalist at Lucerne, she's in lane 5. And then on the near side, the other contender from last year, Molly Brock, the American, who finished 8th on her home waters at Indianapolis. 3 to go through, and right now we're looking at the French girl Katrin Mueller on the near side, just squeezing half a length up on Rebecca Joyce of Australia in lane 4.
Yeah, interestingly, still not very warm out there on the lake. You can see the French sculler wearing tracksuit bottoms, keep her legs warm, long sleeve shirt, in fairly marked contrast to the Australian girl. Bare-shouldered and bare-legged. Through the 1,000-metre mark, these two have established a significant lead. Obviously looking for the third qualifying spot there. They certainly have that cushion to allow them to look back and cover any charges that may come. Slightly more spread field than we saw in the previous race, which was good news for these scullers. I suspect that the previous competitors will still feel that race doing them good for some time to come.
Lisa Bertini currently holding on to the third qualifying slot as they go in with 500 meters still to go. And quite a comfortable lead there for these girls. The German in 4th place, the American Molly Brock in 5th, and the Yugoslav in lane 3, well out of it right now.
All now is simply trying to make sure they qualify as easily as possible, minimum fuss. Marked contrast to the last race, this.
Very little pressure on these leading scullers. Then Katrin Mueller of France leading the way home, 250 meters still to go. Rebecca Joyce of Australia and Lisa Bertini, the Italian, completely untroubled, I think it's fair to say.
Take the race by the scruff of the neck, dominate from the front, and let the others worry about the other qualifying places. Very solid performance. Actually, if anything, working a little too hard now.
Yes, of course, she doesn't know the result of the previous race, and I got a sneaking feeling that if she'd known how tight things were with that one, and knowing how exhausted those competitors are going to be, she'd want to leave maximum in the tank, ready for the final.
No question.
So France lead Australia, lead Italy, and that completes the lineup for the grand final.